Hey, it's Heidi. Welcome back for another video. I'm so glad you're here. I was going live inside of my group on Facebook, Addiction, Codependency, and Toxic Relationship Recovery, and something wasn't matching up there. So it's really important to me to introduce this week's topic, to start the conversation rolling. So I want you to know I'm going to upload this video, record it here now, so that we can continue to have the conversations that we want to have. So how it works is, as you know, if you're new here, welcome home. I just want to welcome you in. I am Heidi, and what we do here is deal in all things toxic relationship recovery, codependence, and a lot of the times that follows people in relationships with addicts, alcoholics, narcissists, and other types of people that are dysfunctional or difficult. And so this week's topic is boundaries. Amen, hallelujah. We can't do anything or have any kind of peace in our life if we do not have good boundaries. But a lot of people misunderstand boundaries. They set ultimatums instead of boundary. And an ultimatum is like an attempt to manipulate somebody's behavior into changing. And a boundary is what we do in order to protect ourselves when nothing actually changes. And I got an email from somebody that really sparked this even more. It just so happens inside of Life School, it's the program that I run and the courses that I run. Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. we meet, and tonight the topic is speaking our truth, and of course boundaries come up from there. So some of the questions that I get asked kind of, you can have a different question in a different way, but it all has the same theme. It's like, I don't want this. This is happening. How do I stop it from happening? Or how do I make them stop doing that to me? And you're not going to be able to manipulate somebody into changing their behavior, but you can certainly protect yourself when things continue not to change. And somebody had written me a question and said her husband is on pain medicine and he gets a certain amount a day, and he gives her the bottle of the pain medication and expects her to dole it out. Now, that wouldn't be a problem necessarily if he couldn't get up and move and get his, some people have to do that. They have to give medication. Nurses do that, right? Psychiatric nurses do that, give medicine. And sometimes even caregivers give medicine. But when addiction is in, it's a different situation, because what's happening is he bullies her all throughout the day to get more medication from her. And she ends up giving in, obviously, because who wants to put up with, right? She doesn't have the firm boundaries in place. She gives in and gives him more than he needs, and he runs out. He runs out of his prescription, and then what happens at the end of the month? Well, he goes out and spends hundreds or thousands of dollars that they don't have, and he gets more medication. So what do we do in a situation like this? What do we do? Well, when we think about boundaries, the very first thing we have to do is get crystal clear on what it is in our lives that we are no longer willing to tolerate or settle for. And that is just step one. Because if you go into something not being clear on what it is that your bottom line is, where you draw the line for you, you're going to be ping-ponged around and coaxed out of your boundary, charismaed out of your boundary, manipulated out of your boundary, or bullied out of your boundary over and over and over again. And then how do you feel at the end of the day? It's completely and totally abused, used, manipulated, gaslit, confused, angry, resentful. And this woman who emailed me even in fact said, she said, I'm so unhappy in this marriage. I just want out of it. I'm so angry and resentful. And then she said, but I wish I didn't care so much. You can care about somebody and love somebody and not want to put up with their bullshit at the same time. Now, I know, Heidi, it's not really bullshit, is it? It's an addiction. It's a disease. It's really a psychological disorder is what it is. And just because I can have compassion for somebody and say, oh yeah, they're suffering, doesn't mean that I need to suffer with them. Compassion does not mean that I need to crawl in the hole of misery with you and be miserable with you in order for you to know that I care. Okay, let's just start there. All right, you can care very much and not want to subject yourself to it over and over again. So let's think about this week's topic. Here's how it's going to go. Today, I'm uploading this video and I'm introducing this week's topic, where I want you to start to get the wheels turning. I'm going to ask you a series of questions that I want you to start answering for me. Tuesday, I'm going to upload another video, which is just a straight up video on boundaries and a particular topic. This week happens to be boundaries with toxic moms. toxic or dysfunctional mothers and how to set boundaries around that, because I've been getting a ton of questions about that. Okay, there's other videos about boundaries with addicts on here and boundaries of wives and husbands, but we're going to open and deepen the discussion. And then Wednesday, I'm going to come back to this platform and I'm going to do another live video. I'm going to go live and I'm going to be here kind of answering the questions that had come up on this video. Okay, so Monday, the video comes out with like, get the wheels turning. And Wednesday, I go in and I answer questions. And Tuesday, I just give the straight answer video. All right, hope that's helpful for you, because that's what you can expect. So here's the questions I want you to start thinking about. Why do you need to set a boundary in your life? What is the price that you have been paying for not setting a boundary in your life? Is it overwhelm? Is it exhaustion? Is your health taking a toll? Are your finances in peril? Is your emotional and psychological well-being at stake? I want you to really think, because here's why this is so important. A lot of people don't want to think about how bad it is, and here's what they do. They do like the dance of denial. Things can be really bad right now. You're getting bamboozled, you're getting bulldozed, and a lot of other people are crossing your boundaries. But because the pain of that is too much, we do the dance of denial. We dance into our way into the past and we think about how it used to be better once upon a time and they weren't so terrible at crossing our boundaries. Or we dance our way into the future. If you hear the trash can and this microphone, I'm sorry, that's trash day. They're picking up the trash. So we dance our way into the future and we imagine what life will be like when they change. And so we get out of the pain, but your pain is necessary because pain is a motivator. Pain helps you take the action you need. It's like, I wouldn't take my hand off of the oven unless the shit was burning on fire. And I go, whoop, don't do that again. That's hot. You need your pain. Your pain is a signal to your soul that you need to do less settling. You need to take action. You need to do something in order to change. So I want you to get present to the pain. I want you to ask yourself, what is the price you're paying for having poor or no boundaries in your life, or letting somebody, you set the boundary, but you don't have any follow through? Okay, that's question number one. We want to get the leverage for you to make the decision to say your come to Jesus moment. We're going to go, never again, that's it. We've all had moments like that. A lot of us wait till it has to get so bad before we actually justify setting a boundary or making a change. Like, we have black belts in settling and black belts in bullshit. And we just say, well, I can just put up with anything. It's like that quote, we pride ourselves. Oh, I can get knocked down 1,000,000 times and I keep getting back up. Well, did you ever wonder how to stop getting knocked the fuck down? That's what I want to help you do. I want to help you stop getting knocked down so you don't have to keep surviving and overcoming and getting back up and putting up with stuff and wearing that like a badge of honor that you can put up with stuff. You don't have to put up with stuff just because you can. My love, you don't have to. Life doesn't have to be that hard. You don't have to be treated so poorly by the people around you, okay? And I want you to borrow some of the strength that I have until you can muster your own. That's what I'm about. Okay, I want to help empower you and equip you so that you know what to do moving forward. But the first thing you have to do is get in touch with why it's so important. The second question I want you to answer for me is, where do the boundaries need to go? Now, the boundaries need to go in one of three areas. With a person, somebody in your life is railroading, bamboozle you, gaslighting you. It can be any kind of person. It can be a mother, a wife, a husband, a child, a boss, a friend. It could be a place that you need to set a boundary. It could be at a place of business that you go into. It could be your work situation. It could be the PTA. It could be anything where you find yourself, you're in a place or a position that you're overextending yourself and it's not working for you anymore. Or it could be a thing that you need to set a boundary with, like you're drinking too much alcohol and wine at night to self-medicate. You're watching too much social media. You're mind numbing. Boundaries aren't just for other people. Boundaries are for ourselves too. So I want you to start thinking about, what is the person or place or thing that you need to set a boundary with, and I want you to make a list of all those things, okay? Then the third thing I want you to do is I want you to think about, now we got the pain picture, right? We painted the picture of pain, why this sucks, why it's so bad, it's terrible, I gotta do something now. And then you say, okay, where do I need to set it? The last step is I want you to say, how is your life going to change when you do it? I want you to envision a future that is bright and beautiful, that you are in charge of, that you are in your power. You are in a position rooted and you're not getting knocked around by everything around or everybody around you. So that's what we need to do to get that leverage. Look at the pain and look at the pleasure. Look at what's coming ahead if I do this, and then what needs to be done in between. And then I'm going to help you fill in the gaps with the rest. Like I said, on Tuesday, I'm going to do a very specific video for boundaries with toxic mothers. And then Wednesday, I'm going to come back in here after I've read all of your comments, and I'm going to go live and I'm going to speak to the comments and I'm going to answer your specific questions that you post on this video. Please don't be shy. Okay. When we think about, you're hurting. Okay. You're in a position, you're hurting and you're sad and you're angry and you're resentful. And we think, you know what? I just need some time. Time is going to heal this wound. I'm going to tell you what, time does nothing but pass. Time does not heal all wounds. Seizing opportunity within the time does. And if you're codependent, you're used to putting everybody else before you. Okay, what is codependency? It's a way to function with dysfunctional people. It's a way to function in dysfunction. I'm asking you to put yourself first. Don't wait for somebody else to comment in this comment section. Don't wait for somebody else to post a question and maybe it'll sound like yours. You be the one. You be brave. You be bold. You be courageous. And you post your question in here and I'm going to answer it. All right? So I'm going to pick the questions that are the most urgent to try to get through first on Wednesday. All right? And of course, if you don't want a public forum, if you're like, I just like things a little more secretive and I'm a little more private person, I gotcha. I totally get it. That's a good reason to reach out over at lovecoachheidi.com and send me a private message over there or schedule a consultation. They're complimentary, where I can answer some of your questions and point you in the right direction for the next steps. All right. So boundaries is the name of the game this week. Why? What is the pain? Why do you need to set these boundaries? Where are you suffering? Where do you need to set them? Person, place, or thing. And how is your life going to be once you get there? So let's paint the picture and then we'll dive in and fill in all of the gaps. Comment below, like and subscribe if you're over on YouTube. Comment below if you're in our private group over on Facebook. By the way, if you like the Facebook community, that kind of private group, that is addiction, codependency, and toxic relationship recovery. That's what it's called. If you're watching it in there, you already know. And if you like YouTube as your main platform, these are the two places that I will be. YouTube is Love Coach Heidi. And I have to say both platforms are great, but I do want you to know how much I value YouTube at this point, because you guys are helping us help so many people with your comments and your, just get seen by more people. And that's what's great about YouTube, is we can keep extending the message. And in our private group, we can be inviting people that we know, right, as well. So 2 different ways. And then of course, if you want to go deeper, lovecoachheidi.com. Anyway, I love you so much. Let's continue this conversation all week long. That's what we will be doing. And I will see you on Tuesday on YouTube in my video that I'm uploading. And then I'll see you Wednesday live, where we can really dive in a little bit deeper. Love you. Have a great week, my little love kitten and cat. Oh my God, that's kind of like Carol Baskin. Ooh, okay. Love you. See you later. Bye.